Check my audio. There we go. All right. Now that we're live, today is day 262. We're looking at another zip code in the Birmingham market. Going a little bit further to the east today near the airport. And just looking for 4-bedroom properties today. And I think I found this property. 7929 North 6th Ave in Birmingham, Alabama, 35206. Okay, this property looks, assuming all the photos are okay, looks relatively turnkey. Looks like they have fresh paint on there based on those photos. The floors looks refinished. The random bathroom in the basement. I don't think you can convert that into an extra room. Maybe there's no exit there. All right, so this property is a 4-bedroom property, assuming everything makes sense. Our owner has never occupied this property. Square footage is the estimate, so you got to check the property tax records there. See how long it's been on the market. It's been on the market April 21st. We're for 2 months. Still haven't done anything. Somebody bought it for 121 and trying to sell for 140. That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's see what's going on here. Not so much about elementary school rating. Good to know that there's a good, decent school rating up here on the east side. All right, so for this property, I want to get the FMR, so fair market rent. So HUD FMR. When you get here, you just click on the first link up top, and then you click on access small area FMRs. Look up FY 2024 FMRs. Go to the Alabama, and then pretty sure this is Jefferson County. Let me double check by just searching for county. Now you got the county. Just go to Jefferson. Now you're going to get the rent ceiling by bedroom count, by zip code, and you're going to see that the maximum rent here for 4-bedroom is $1,700. Okay, good to know. $1,700. That's really high compared to some of the other places that we've seen. $1,530. All right, 35206. So this seems like a pretty decent zip code, right? So what are we doing every day, right? We're just learning the market a little by little, incrementally, getting 1% better, getting 1% smarter about this market specifically in Birmingham. All right. So now that I got my rent ceiling at $1,700 for 35206, I want to get the market rent. So when you go to affordablehousing.com, you go to the owner section, go to the market rent estimator, plug in the address, plug in bedroom count. The most important number you're going to care about is this number here on the bottom right. Now, it says that for 25 units within a 2.47 mile radius, this is a pretty wide radius, first of all, because usually we've seen radiuses on this website for under a mile. So this tells me that there aren't that many 4-bedroom properties, hence why you're seeing the rent so much higher, 1434. So let's write those numbers down at 1434, 1434. 1449. The reason I'm doing this is because my partners already know exactly how I analyze these deals. So this is going to be very useful so that they understand what's going on. Now, just so I can understand the market a little bit better, I'm going to get the rents for 3-bedroom. Even though this is a 4-bed, I just want to see how much lift there is. You see how this is such a big jump from a $900 rent for 25 using a 0.57 mile radius to 1400. Huge difference. So this is the type of property or a zip code where I would say, hey, I definitely want to go for 4-bedroom properties because there's way less of them, and hopefully that allows us to have attract a tenant base that cares a lot about the home because they understand how hard it is to get a 4-bedroom property. All right, so now that I got these property numbers for rents in place, I now know that I have to use about $1,400 for my rent. And the reason I'm doing that instead of $1,700 is that usually $1,700 on the FMR usually includes utilities, but at the same time, there is a test called the rent reasonableness test. Okay, the rent reasonableness test states that you essentially cannot charge more rent than simply because they're a voucher holder. So you go to the Housing Choice Voucher (HCV), formerly known as Section 8. HCV guidebook in section 2.2, you're going to see a test called the rent reasonableness test. So it defines as in conducting rent reasonableness, the PHA or the Public Housing Authority must determine whether the rent to the owner is a reasonable rent in comparison to rent for other comparable unassisted units. So this means that, sure, when it's built matters if it's a condo versus a single family home, that absolutely matters. But in general, you can't charge more rent simply because they're a voucher holder. for very obvious reasons, right? So that's why in this scenario, I'm using the lower of the two rent at 1,400 for this property, unless you get really deep into details and you say, hey, I can get more rent because it's a more better renovated property. But you want to find out whether or not that truly applies to you. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go plug in all the numbers for the property. So this property was listed for 139,900, 139,900. And my renovations. Let's go ahead and go to the rehab calculator. I'm just going to set aside $1,500 for the roof, just in case there's some issues with the roof that I don't know about. $500 for landscaping. For paint, I think this property looks pretty good for the most part. Maybe I'll set aside like $200 for rent, 200 square feet for painting in case there's something that is misleading from the photos, because this person just bought it in January and now they're selling it. Maybe there's a tenant in there, maybe not. I'm not sure, but something smells a little fishy to me. So I'm gonna be a little bit more pragmatic and a little bit more conservative. Set aside some money for the toilet replacement, so that makes me feel pretty good about the property. So that's roughly around $4,200 I'm setting aside for the property just in case, even though it's turnkey. Okay. Now, my property taxes. I'm gonna get that right from Redfin. So $63. So I'll trust that for now, but we have to verify with the county records later. This is 108 for insurance. So I'm gonna take 108 and I'm gonna times it by 1.2 in a monthly insurance sell, and that's gonna get me to 129.60. And I'm multiplying by 1.2 because usually this insurance number on these pages, they're probably assuming that someone's gonna live as a prime residence. But if you have a rental property, chances are the insurance premium is going to be a lot higher. So that's why I'm using it multiplied by 1.2 for a 20% premium. All right, I'm set aside 10% of the rent every single month for maintenance, because people always get burned when they don't underwrite for maintenance. You think they're making all this money, but then all of a sudden 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you have a $12,000, $15,000 roof replacement that you never budgeted for. Well, all that money you thought you made for the past 5, 10 years have now gone down the drain. So don't make that mistake. Don't be that person not underwriting with maintenance. Then I got 10% for property management. I got 5% for vacancy. So based off of this, I'm going to go and plug in my down payment. So I'm going to put in 25% down. So to calculate my down payment, I'm going to equals B4, or my asking price, multiplied by F19. And that's going to equals to the down payment of $35,000 roughly. My finance amount is going to be equals to my asking price in B4 minus my down payment, and that's the amount I'm financing at roughly 8.25% is what the interest rate I got in here right now. So based off of that, based off these numbers, if I rent out the property as a 4-bedroom for $1,400, then I would be a positive $69 cash flow a month, 1.9% cash and cash return. That's assuming a $140,000 purchase price, just rounding a little bit, okay? Not gonna be exact, so I can just type less words, test less numbers. I mean, $4,200 for rehab. Now, you might say, well, that's not a deal because, and this is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investment on this call, full disclosure, but you're gonna want to figure out, hey, what price do I want to buy this property at to make it a deal, quote unquote? If my set of terms means that I get to get 10% of my money. Some people in other markets just want to break even on their deals. And from that, they're happy because they think they're in a high appreciating market. And if they go 5% on a median sales price of like 800 grand, they'll be like, oh, I'm golden. So just think about it. Every market, every investor circumstance is different. That's why you got to consult with your own investment professionals. All right. So if I kept everything the same, $1,400, watch what happens to the cash on cash return number as I lower the asking price. Okay. So watch what happens to this 1.94 as I lower this. So let's go to $130,000. Okay. Now I'm at 3.75. Let's keep lowering it. 5.75. Okay. Next number, 110. Whoops. I don't want too many zeros. 8.28. So now let's just make it 100 grand. There you go. So maybe I can get to 102. There you go. So I would probably be willing to pay up to 103 for this property if my goal was truly to get a 10% return on my money. This allows me to cash up $277 a month after all my expenses. So this is true net amount, assuming I'm putting 25% down and I have 8.25%. Hey, Valentina, great question. So if you want a copy of the spreadsheet, Go to affordablehousing.io, not .com, affordablehousing.io. This is the website we set up for the community. This is a website that we set up for the podcast. So just click on Get Deal Analysis Tool, plug in your information. Promise I won't spam you. This just automates the way for you to get a copy of the spreadsheet. And after that, what's my ask, everybody? What's my ask? Just copy my homework. Analyze the same deal I analyzed today. Literally, this is right on Redfin. Analyze the same deal I analyzed today using the same spreadsheet. Again, I didn't create the spreadsheet. I just got it from other folks. I tweaked it and I modified it and I made it my own so that I can underwrite really, really fast. And just put it on your YouTube channel. And then just stay consistent with me. Analyze the deal every single day with me, just alongside with me. Share your YouTube channel with me. I would love to see it. And then stay consistent, because all it takes is 18 minutes a day of underwriting deals and you will be better at analyzing deals than 95% of the country. That's it. Stay consistent with me. I know how hard it is to build a following. I know how hard it is to keep doing this every single day. And most importantly, it's boring. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because that's the hardest part about being consistent. So if you want the websites that we use, the first one you're going to use is just Redfin, right? That's what I use. People like Zillow, doesn't matter what you like. Doesn't matter what you choose. Doesn't matter. You Google HUD FMR. First link that should come out is just this link right here that says fair market rents. Then you can go to affordablehousing.com to get the market rents. And for the spreadsheet, you go to affordablehousing.io. All right? Go to affordablehousing.io and you get a copy of the spreadsheet. That's it. Put it on your YouTube channel, everybody. That's it. Build your following, because when the time comes, when someone asks you, hey, why do you think this is a deal? Because at that point in time, you can say, hey, look at my YouTube channel. I know this is a deal because I've been looking at deals for the past 262 days. And they were mostly not deals. Might that give you some more confidence? Right? You guys don't even need to make it public. You guys just have to just do it. Think about it. No one's really going to go back and look at every single video that you've done in the past year. In fact, probably 0 views will happen for you, right? I have some of these videos with like 5 views. Oh, great. Yes. 8 views. Yes. Less views, the better. Less views, the better. Because I want to show you all that it's about putting in the reps, it's about being consistent. And that's what people believe in. That's what people trust. People don't trust the person that's, oh yeah, I'm going to do all this. The people that just talk the talk. The only way you can prove that you can walk the walk is by actually doing it and documenting it. So even if you're shy and you're not sure and you don't want to put yourself out there, you don't have to put yourself on a webcam. Just record your screen while you do it. And if you're really, really shy, just make it unlisted so that no one will even see your videos unless you want them to, unless they truly have a reason to just check the consistency. You can absolutely do this. Remember, the goal isn't trying to become TikTok famous, get millions of followers. It's about getting the right amount of folks, that people that care about doing good. And that's why I do this. Thank you so much for caring about affordable housing. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Without people like y'all, we never had the home I grew up in. So I appreciate you all so, so much. Thank you so much for being part of this community. And I will be back here again tomorrow for day 263. I hope you all have an amazing day. I hope you guys spend some quality time with family and friends today. I hope you guys stay cool. It's so hot out here right now. I'm in Boston. I'm visiting my parents. I took my daughter to see her great grandmother. Because what's the point of making all this money if we don't take the time to spend the time with our family? Don't use that excuse though, because there will always be a reason why you don't do something. There's always going to be a reason why you can't be consistent. There's always going to be a reason. The best example I had was I was on a 12-year anniversary with my wife in Vegas, and I still went live. She said, "You're gonna work on our anniversary?" I said, "Well, if I tell people that I'm still analyzing a deal on a 12-year anniversary, like what excuses do they have?" And she said, "Okay, that makes sense. Go for it." If you're consistent with who you are and the level of consistency you want to dedicate yourself to and the discipline that you show yourself every single day, you would do it. Success is not a surprise. So just do it with me so you don't feel lonely, because I know how lonely it is to get started. I know how easy it is to think about quitting. But the only way we stay in this is we stick in it together, we give each other encouragement, and we keep on going. So thank you so much. I'll be back here again tomorrow for day 263. Have a good one, everybody.